So in this clip right here that we're going to be reacting to, Fuentes and Tucker Carlson finally break down the potential past beef from Nick Fuentes attacking some of these quote-unquote neocons, conservatives, and why he did that. Tucker obviously was one of those individuals that Nick went after. This is them hashing out their beef and why they did it and what their thought processes were during that time. Let's get into the reaction.
So here's my question. So I look at the landscape now and the people I see as, I'll narrow it down to foreign policy. Okay. Who is effectively opposing neoconservative foreign policy, which has been the dominant foreign policy of the United States for my entire life, which has been so destructive, I think, and I've seen it. Who are the voices who are sincere in their opposition to that and who have some ability to change the country's orientation on foreign policy? And those would include Marjorie Taylor Greene, J.D. Vance, Matt Gaetz, me. But you've attacked all of those people.
Yeah.
And I like that Tucker actually puts his name in there. Now, the people that he named outside of J.D. Vance, he mentions Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, Marjorie did do an event for Nick Fuentes back with his America First PAC, right? Then Marjorie got the call saying that, what are you doing? You shouldn't be advocating for this individual, Nick Fuentes. She disavowed Nick after that, right? Because Nick was against Israel. The difference is that now Marjorie Taylor Greene is advocating to cut funds for Israel at this moment right now, including Officer Brandon Tatum, who has called Marjorie Taylor Greene a Jew hater. Now she's being called anti-Semitic because she wants to cut those funds from Israel, right? The foreign affairs, etc. It's crazy to me that years ago she's willing to disavow Nick, but now she seems to be switching those sides. The point is, though, is that Nick has been talking about this for 10 fucking years. Now, all of a sudden, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, and let's be fucking honest about this, are now kind of seeing the perspective here about Israel. And I think this is kind of like the nitpicks and what we need to break down between these two individuals of why that was.
Why would you, and almost Joe Kent, those strike me as someone who's really interested in this topic. I'm not that interested in the Jews, but I'm very interested in the foreign policy question. Those seem like the most sincere people. Those seem like the only hope of the country to get away from this destructive, really self-destructive cycle. Why attack them?
Well, in short, they attacked me first.
Yeah, but who cares?
Well, let's take Joe Kent.
I mean, you attack me constantly. Well, and I'm like, I don't really give a shit. I want to meet the guy.
You attacked me first, too.
No. But what I'm saying is I'm not whining.
Oh, man. So, again, yeah, Tucker did attack Nick Fuentes after his interview with Candace Owens, who he brought on and talked about Nick. He described Nick as a little gay boy in his mom's basement making YouTube videos. That's an attack right there. Then he pushed back and he attacked him sevenfold, talking about how his father was in the CIA. Okay? So nevertheless, the point being, though, is that Marjorie Taylor Greene was a supporter, then attacked him. Now all of a sudden she's on the boat. This is kind of the contrast that Nick is talking about here, is that it seems very inconsistent to people looking in from the outside. I think Nick has a valid point to go after these types of people, regardless of how hard they went against him. Regardless, Nick, and I'm like this too. You go after me to a high extent, I will fucking attack you sevenfold then. This is how politics is. It's a dirty mud wrestling match, hardcore match. ECW, bro. It's ECW. Politics is ECW. Extreme Championship Wrestling. That's what politics is.
About it. Sure. I'm just saying, so, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't say so because, take Joe Kent, for instance. I supported Joe Kent and I talked to Joe Kent. I got introduced to him by Matt Brainerd. Matt Brainerd went to my conference in 2021. He bought a table.
Was he his campaign manager?
He was.
Okay.
Or he was a consultant, but he
Right,
was,
you
he
worked
was
on
on
the
the
campaign.
campaign. Yeah. And so I met Matt Braynard. He liked me a lot. He loved my conference in February 21, which he bought a table at for his organization, Look at America. And in 2021, we, and by we, I mean my nonprofit and myself and my team, we wanted to support America First candidates in the midterms. Like you said, authentic opponents.
Me too.
Yeah. And
That's
so
how I found Joe Kent.
Yes. And so I met a lot of the people in that sort of scene. Like Ryan Gerdusky, I know, is very supportive of Joe Kent, and other people that are more private, I don't want to name, but they put me on, not just to Joe Kent, but Patrick Witt in Georgia, Gibbs in Michigan, a lot of different people. And Joe Kent was one of them. And I had a phone call with Joe Kent. And I told him, I had my assistant on the phone too, who's Jewish, by the way, just because I want you to know I'm cool like that.
We got
I don't
Jewish
judge.
friends around here. We got Jewish friends.
So I'm on the phone with Joe, and I said, look, we support you, and we want to do everything we can to help you. We want to have my followers knock on doors for you. We want to boost your social media. Anything that you need, we want to help you. I said, and we don't even want to be publicly associated. I said, because we know that that might hurt you. I said, the only thing that we ask in return is you can't disavow me if the media asks. And you can say whatever you need to say, but you can't disavow. And he said, yeah, I totally agree with you, because if we start disavowing each other, then we're just going to eat each other alive and the left wins. We're in agreement.
So Joe Kent actually knew about Nick Fuentes being this controversial. He knew about it. He said, okay, this is the deal. You go ahead, get me elected, and I will not disavow you no matter the pressure. I'll obfuscate just like any politician, and we'll leave it at that. I won't put my fucking nose into that business. Clear cut. Very clear cut on that. He knows Nick Fuentes having that influence would help him get elected. This seems to be very reasonable on these things. And Fuentes said, don't even associate with me. Doesn't even fucking matter, bro. Just don't disavow. Do not bite back me, please. Do not fucking talk shit. Very simple.
And a couple months later, Joe tweeted in support of me, because I had been banned on all social media. I was on the no-fly list. So he said something on Twitter like, Nick Fuentes shouldn't be banned. He should not be censored. A month after that, I put out on Twitter, I said, Joe Kent is one of the most impressive America First candidates that's running in 22. Well, fast forward a whole year later, I do my annual conference, AFPAC, in February 22. Marjorie Taylor Greene attends. It's we had 1,200 people, and it got a lot of media attention. And I'm driving home because I'm on the no-fly list.
And just to clarify that, Marjorie Taylor Greene did do that, and she also disavowed Nick after that event. After she attended as a speaker, she also disavowed Nick. And then now, 2 weeks ago, she is now advocating to cut funds for Israel. And now she's adopted Nick Fuentes' talking points in politics and was told to disavow him, and she did it.
This time, I'm driving home from Florida.
Can I ask you to pause? By no-fly list, you mean not extra scrutiny, but like not allowed to fly in airplanes in the United States?
Not allowed to fly, yes.
How old were you?
I was 23.
Did you have any felony convictions?
No.
Okay. I wasn't even aware that could happen. How long were you not allowed to fly in airplanes in the United States?
1 year.
It's really crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry, I just want to get that out there.
No, yeah, okay. It's brutal.
And you confirm that you were not allowed to fly in airplanes? Period.
Yes, I have the letter from the TSA, yeah. I was on the do not board list.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. Crazy. But so anyway, so I'm driving home from Florida after my conference, and I get people start texting me. Joe Kent is on Twitter, and he says, I condemn Nick Fuentes, especially his views on Israel.
There you have it.
That's the tweet.
Yeah, there you have it. It's now popular to diss on Nick, and he did it.
And I texted Joe, and I said, seriously? And he texts me back, and he says, we win by addition, not subtraction. I go, well, you just subtracted me out of the movement. I said, because I don't support you anymore. He goes back for seconds. He goes on Twitter and says, Nick Fuentes and his focus on race and religion does not fit with my message of inclusive populism. Inclusive populism. That doesn't sound like authentic America First. That sounds like bullshit to me. And I don't know. I know he's your friend, but I don't know him that well. And
Right.
I'm not on the team.
Well, so my read on Joe Kent was he's totally sincere. He, like me, has always been committed to separating out like foreign policy views from ethnicity, not because, I mean, obviously I'm denounced as an anti-Semite every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really care what ADL thinks of me, but my Christian faith tells me that there's no such thing as blood guilt. And virtue or sin is not inherited. It's not a feature of DNA. So every person must be assessed individually as God assesses each person individually. And that's like a foundational view. So I always thought it's great to criticize and it's question like our relationship with Israel because it's insane and it hurts us. We get nothing out of it. I completely agree with you there. But the second you're like, well, actually it's the Jews. First of all, it's against my Christian faith. Like I just don't believe that and I never will, period. And second, then it becomes a way to discredit. That's when I was like, this guy's a Fed.
Mm-hmm.
I was totally convinced you were a Fed because I was like,
I think Tucker, when he says like, it's just the Jews, I think it goes much beyond that, right? We're talking about the nation of Israel. We're talking about from a political perspective. Then we're also talking about Zionists, the American Zionist movement here in the United States. And then on top of that, we're talking about religious Jews that don't correspond with Christianity and have promoted the Judeo-Christian country that we apparently live in, right? This is a talking point that Ben Shapiro has spoken about, that we live in Judeo-Christian country, right? I fell for that back in the day, fucking like 5, 6, 7 years ago or so. I said, yeah, Judeo-Christian. I didn't even know what the fuck Judeo really meant. I knew Christians, and I still spewed that type of rhetoric without even really understanding it. This is the propaganda there that they give to young individuals, you know? So I think it's much more than just it's the Jews that control the United States. It's much more authentic than that. I think it's much more nuanced than just stating that. And I think a lot of people get, especially people that criticize Nick Fuentes or individuals like myself, that will just say, oh, you just hate the Jews. You're just an anti-Semite. Oh, just like the Democrats call you a fucking racist because you spew out fucking black people's statistics and crimes. Yeah, that's the same fucking playbook that they're doing right now.
here he's bear hugging like the one sincere guy who lost his wife in Syria thanks to these fucking crazy wars, neocon wars. And he's discredited. He's doing the David Duke. Like David Duke would always, every time I rolled out a new show, he would issue an endorsement of the show. I've never met the guy. What's that? Well, it's the feds. Obviously, he's trying to destroy me by association.
False
Whatever.
flags.
You see the point?
Yeah, but so let me ask you this. So if I'm supporting Joe Kent, I'm David Duke bear hugging. If I attack Joe Kent, I'm attacking the only sincere America First voice.
I get it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good point.
Get it,
That's a good point.
I just want to say I love Joe Kent. Again, having been denounced by a lot of people.
What is it, Tucker?
I know what that feels like.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely am sympathetic to that.
Yeah.
This is what I love about Tucker. Tucker's a very humble individual, guys. You have to realize Tucker has admitted, like, yeah, I was part of that neocon, conservative, talking points propaganda, especially with the Iraq war. Tucker has come out and stated these things on multiple occasions. This is why I personally love Tucker. And tell me down in the comments below, do you guys trust Tucker? Do you like Tucker? What's your take on Nick Fuentes, etc.? Let me know in the comments down below to see where exactly the audience actually falls on these types of topics, because I am very curious on it.
Like one of my favorite people in the world is Glenn Greenwald.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love Glenn.
Ah, what a good man. Glenn must have spent like 10 years attacking me full time. Tucker Carlson is da-da-da-da-da. And some of his criticism was correct, actually. You know, a tool of the neocons, endorsing these fucking wars. Like
That's exactly what I was fucking talking about prior before. You know, he's a tool for the neocons. Pretty fair criticism. And it's pretty fair that Tucker is actually acknowledging that.
Well, and I totally agree with you, by the way. And that's why I don't take it personally at all. Like, and I like you. I've said very positive things about you on my show as well. I
don't care.
And I know, but I mean to say that My goal is America first.
Right.
It's not about me. It's not about my personality. It's about winning for America, you know, and
Right.
by winning, I mean, we want to see our vision realized. But with Joe, for me, it was very specific that he said inclusive populism. And I really didn't like that because to me, there were a lot of similar phrases at this time, multiracial, working class, populism, this kind of stuff. And I said, you know, on some level, we do need to be exclusive, not inclusive. We do need to be right-wing. We do need to be Christian. We do, on some level, need to be pro-white, not to the exclusion of everybody else, but recognizing that white people have a special heritage here as Americans. And so the reason I opposed him in 22 was not because I was mad, but it was to say America first cannot backslide into this kind of inclusive populism message, which I perceive to be more like GOP slop. And I'll tell you, when he ran again in 24, I did not oppose him. I didn't.
Now, just to kind of piggyback off of what Nick said, look, I agree with Nick. If you guys don't remember, Charlie Kirk, God bless his soul, did a big tent movement back in 2019, 2020, where he was bringing in homosexuals. He brought in a gay homosexual black man on his TP USA tour. He welcomed in people like Blair White. He welcomed in drag queens that were for Trump, right? And it was all in the name of getting Trump elected at the time. This is the big tent movement that we saw with Charlie Kirk that I massively disagree with him at the time. And I still do, to be honest. But the point being is that when you welcome the devil into your home, the devil will change you. You will not change the devil. Look at the example of Dave Rubin doing surrogate birth by injecting two women with their individual semen to adopt and to raise as two gay men. But yet people like Ben Shapiro, people like Charlie Kirk at the time, these individuals that were in this kind of like a conservative mainstream movement had no problem with that. No problem with those values of two gay men raising children together. And I think that's the damage, and that's the message that you give out to the world, where it's like, okay, Dave Rubin's just one of the good ones. He's one of the good gay people. Let's not criticize him. But you trans people that want to cut off the testicles of children, oh, you guys are the bad ones, which they are bad. But Dave Rubin and his gay lover raising children is perfectly okay. It's the same concept here. This is why you don't dance with the devil, because the devil will always change you. You never change the devil.
If you disavow someone because they criticize Israel, if you disavow someone for talking about white people and Christianity, I said, we can't let that slide because, and you understand why he did it. Like on some level, I don't hold it against him in the sense that there is such a strong incentive. It's easy to say, I disavow all these crazy Christians and all these crazy white nationalists, because it buys you wiggle room with people that are attacking you. It's like easy to throw them under the bus and say, I'm one of the good guys.
Exactly.
And so I said, it's too easy. We need to push in the other direction and say, you should feel less comfortable saying that people shouldn't talk about their race and religion. Maybe you'll think twice next time. And so I did it for a very specific reason. And
I get that. What I do think is bad, just objectively bad and destructive, is the all Jews are guilty or all anybody is guilty of anything, because that's just like not true. And we don't believe that as Christians. I mean, my hero in life is Paul, because you call him Saint Paul, Saul of Tarsus, a Pharisee, and meets Jesus and becomes this just incredible man, incredibly brave, smart, loving, like everything you want to be as a man, he was. Jew.
Yeah.
So like, and
God, this goes back to what I was saying before. It's not the concept of all Jews are bad because you're a Jew, therefore you are in the wrong. It's not the concept here at all with Tucker. And I appreciate Tucker's question here of saying that, do you believe Jews rule the world? He's going back to that type of concept for this question.
I did that to him. So it's like, you can't, I think that's and I don't think it's like mushy liberal bullshit, which I hate.
Mhm.
And I hate all the language that you're describing. I get why it offends you because it's code for I don't really believe what I'm saying.
Right.
I have a PhD in the subject, so I know. But I also think there's like a true, not just principle, but like spiritual reality that we have to defend, which is God created every person as an individual, not as a group. No woman gave birth to a community. Like we hate that kind of thinking,
Yes.
right? Collectivist thinking like that. That's identity politics. That's what Dave Rubin engages in. That's why Dave is like just a child. Like you don't pay any attention to Dave because he's like shallow. But we're not going to be that, right? Or no?
No, I completely agree with you. And, you know, like, and not to be that guy and say that thing, but like, my best friend is a Jewish person. You know? So like, but here's my...
I have black friends, guys. I have black friends.
I guess here's my substantive disagreement, because as a Catholic, I could not agree more with you.
Yes.
In what you're saying. I love all people, even the ones that don't like us. We have to love them all. And we have to recognize that...
We're required to.
Yes. And especially Aquinas says the Jews are a witness people. And so they actually have special protections under the law, according to Catholic philosophy. But I guess my substantive disagreement, which I've said on the show also, is the idea that neoconservatism and Israel has nothing to do with Jewishness, Jewish identity, the Jewish religion, because clearly the state of Israel and the neocons are deeply motivated by that ethnic identity.
Sure.
And their allegiance to Israel proceeds from that. You know, the plan of Greater Israel, the blood and soil nationalism of Israel, it stems from this ethno-religion, which is Judaism.
Well, this is, just BLM, the new version. This is identity politics. They're engaging in identity politics.
Okay. Yes.
I mean, that's just so obvious to me. But
I would argue the Jews have been doing this for a lot longer than just the BLM movement. Now, guys, just to clarify here, you remember when BLM happened and they said, put the black square on your Instagram, your social media accounts, right? The black square to represent BLM. The Jewish community, all right, they did the same thing. Put a blue square in order to combat anti-Semitism. And I saw these commercials, by the way, on Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, that they were promoting the anti-Semitism, right? They were saying, don't be an anti-Semite. They were putting out these commercials. Ridiculous. It's the same game plan. But I do believe that the Jews have been doing it a lot longer. The BLM and the communists, it's just all on the same playbook.
I hate you because we're from different neighborhoods.
I hate you because you look different.
I hate you because I don't understand you.
I hate you because people I know hate you.
I hate you because I think you hate me.
Because I need someone to blame.
Because you talk different.
Because you act different.
Because you're just different. Man, I hate that things are so bad that we have to do a commercial about it.
Me too.
Anyways, guys, with that being said, we're going to end it there. Comment down below all your thoughts and your opinions on everything. And of course, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay subscribed to the channel. We'll be bringing you more content like this in the future. With that being said, guys, God bless and have a good one.